Okay, we're officially rolling.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
We are ready. Okay, so now we've consumed all the watermelon feta cheese olive salad. Okay, so here's the other thing I want to do. It's produce season. Is that a word? Produce? Produce? It's summer, it's produce. Okay, so here's some fresh green beans. Here's a gorgeous yellow zucchini, squash rather, broccoli, good broccoli, an ear of corn, which I husked earlier. This is one of the things I love to do because I like to cook things on the stove behind me. It's just fun, and again, no recipes. I just like whatever's fresh. If I've gone to the farmer's market, I just buy things and saute them always in, I get a little boring, sweet onion and garlic and olive oil. Now, the dry onions are great, but I prefer a sweet onion just because they're sweet and they're lovely. Okay, so I'm taking, these are the green beans. I snipped off the ends. I'm gonna wash them. Always gotta wash my vegetables. My mother ingrained that in me, wash your vegetables multiple times, so I'm kind of a stickler. When I had my retail storefront at the Meatloaf Bakery, we picked tons of parsley. We would soak and wash that parsley for 3-4 times just to make sure it was clean. Okay, so we got some green beans. Those are all cleaned, ready to go. I'm gonna dump this. My kitchen's kind of small, but it works. I got the counter here. It works, doesn't it, Chris? It's got the sinks here. I mean,
Functional.
it is functional, absolutely. Okay, now the next thing, this is kind of fun. I'm gonna take the corn and just, I don't even know what the term is, but I am slicing the kernels off the corn. So now you see it's all coming down. Corn in your little sauteed vegetable creation, which is ultimately going to go over pasta, is so yummy. Again, it adds like a little sweetness without any sugar. Okay, so the corn is being, I don't know what the word is for that. I guess sliced? It doesn't matter. Okay, now, onion. Where's the onion? Let's get, this is a Vidalia onion, and I'm actually going to get another cutting board. Notice I have orange and pink and yellow, and it has to be bright and pretty in my kitchen because that way then it makes this whole cooking thing a lot more fun. Okay, so we're not going to do a lot of onion, but just a little. And again, I know there's like really techniques to cutting onions and doing things, and here's a half an onion. Don't be watching this video if you want to know how to do things correctly. Watch it if you want to know how to have fun cooking and just appeal to what you're craving. So today I'm craving this little pasta thing, which frankly I make often. So we're going to take this onion and I'm going to throw it in this big old pan. I could use a nonstick pan, but right now I'm going to not use that. I'm going to keep it just like a regular. These happen to be Cuisinart. Not too heavy either. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Just a titch more onion. And then I'm going to, while I'm finishing up the rest of the veggies, I'm going to let these onions simmer, and then Chris will be able to smell all the lovely onion that's just sort of sauteing. And I made them, you'll see what I did. See, I just sliced them up, easy. My hands smell like onion, but that's okay. It's a nice smell, onion and garlic. So right now, just a little bit of olive oil in here. I happen to have gas, which is nice, but if you have an electric stove, it's no big deal. Works just as well. Okay, so now we're going to do a little fresh garlic. I buy the cloves like this. Whoa, come on. Okay, so normally these unpeel much easier, but they're not doing, this is hard. Oh, my finger. Lately I've been finding my thumbs are kind of like getting a little arthritic. Whew, so it's a little harder to turn things, but I managed. Okay, so we're gonna slice up the garlic and let that simmer also. This kind of recipe is really fun because it's just really throwing any fresh vegetable in the pan with the olive oil and garlic. It makes a nice little pasta sauce, but it's more like a veggie sauce. It's not heavy on tomatoes, and you can do chicken or shrimp or beans, like white beans, black beans, really any kind of meat. If you're into tofu, you could do tofu. I don't happen to like tofu, so I wouldn't be using that. I suppose I can try it, but it's a texture thing. I don't know, something about that texture. All right, so now we got a little garlic, just here, just a teeny bit, right there. I'm gonna put it in the pan with the onions. And I'm gonna lower the fire just a little bit, so it doesn't burn. So we don't want that to burn. Okay, next thing, I did the corn. I'm gonna chop up the green beans. Just, you know, nothing fancy, I'm just cutting them. I actually did a little broccoli too, because I think broccoli is nice. And one of the things I remember my mother, have I told you she was an excellent cook? Probably 20 million times, but I did learn from her. Color is really important. Not only does the food have to taste good, it's got to look good. And so we were always very much into color. And so having, you know, the broccoli and the squash and the corn and the greens and the reds. You know, you could even throw some radishes in here. I don't have any right now, but have any of you ever actually cooked with radishes? Chris, have you ever done that?
I have not.
Radishes are like divine if you salt them a little bit and bake them. Oof. But you gotta like radishes. Okay, so we're gonna I freshened up that broccoli a little bit. And again, we're doing this like in really short order. You got the produce, and I tend to buy produce in big, you know, a whole big bunch, a big thing. You can get stuff pre-chopped, no problem, because they make it easy on people if they don't have time to do what I do. I happen to love chopping. Chopping is fun. All right, so I am going to take this now and throw it into the same pan and just let it kind of simmer a bit. I can already smell it. Okay. Now, one other thing, I think, this guy. Let's put a little yellow squash in. Pretty soon, I'm gonna hit that little saute pan with a little vermouth to juice it up a little bit, because it's nice because we're not adding a lot of liquid. All right, see, I just kind of peeled the yellow squash just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to put the whole thing in. I sliced it down the middle like that. Again, very fast. Boom, boom, boom. A few little things. All this is just lots of vegetables in a pan with olive oil and garlic. What's not to like? Okay. Then we're going to throw a few tomatoes in a little while. The other thing I want to do is get some chicken out, because I think we're going to saute some chicken. That'll add a little protein for it, and then ultimately it's going to go over a nice big bowl of fresh pasta. Okay, hold on. Getting my chicken. refrigerator is just jammed with stuff, but people always laugh when they come over because a lot of people I know they live alone and they have like hard-boiled eggs and a salad and that's it in the refrigerator. I could entertain for anyone for a party of 8 almost any night of the week because I got a loaded refrigerator, but I like to cook. That's my hobby. All right, here's already chicken breast. I bought the chicken breast without the bones just for this purpose, and I think it's easier. I'm going to rinse it though. Important to rinse it up a bit. I'm going to do on a clean cutting board. After I opened my business, I took food safety classes, sanitation, so I was a certified something or other manager. Very important not to cross-contaminate your poultry with your vegetables. So I separate everything up and switch knives. So right now I'm going to simply slice up that chicken. How are we doing, Chris?
Doing good.
Doing good?
Making me more hungry every minute.
Good. That's what we want. Ah, it's fun. I think I was a butcher in another life. I did an interview once because people said, why meatloaf? Well, I don't know, I like meat, I like chicken, and I seriously believe I was a butcher in another life. Because I'm comfortable handling meats. Okay, now I'm going to put just a little olive oil in this pan. Ooh, all right. This chicken, which has just been easily cut in a few pieces. I should have done a different color cutting board because the chicken on the orange not so good, but you get the drift. Okay, this is going into my other little non-stick pan, and we're going to just let that cook a little bit. Simmer up. I'm rinsing the raw chicken, and that cutting board will not be used again. You know, I kept the Kalamata olives out because I'm into olives. So it is very likely I'm going to dump some olives into this concoction over here. Okay, let's take a spoon. Wait, let me just double check, make sure I have everything. Zucchini, garlic. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I think now we're going to direct ourselves over to the stove so you can see kind of other things I'm going to add and with the herbs and the spices and whatnot. All right, travel with me in a minute.